And look at that massive amount of global settler that we're gaining. 92 global settler yearly with basically only 20 years in the game. That's really insane. Okay, I get it. You wanna see a Brazilian play in Portugal. But shame on you, I will not be making any jokes about the goal. At least not that many. Iron Man, as usual. After all, no pussies allowed here. And let's dive in. And first thing first, of course, some state shenanigans. That's how we start around here. For a clergy, give the religious state, church sanctuaries, religious diplomat, of course a clerical education, and let's delegate a bit of religions, okay? For the nobles, primacy of the nobility, supremacy over the crown, nobility of the rights, and a core position. As for the burghers, land of commerce, free enterprise, some bookkeeping, and naval school rights, as well as a force draft. After all, we are kind of a naval superpower. We're going to also already get in that to the burghers, and start recruiting troops into just the plural manpower, then summon the dire, that should give us a cheaper advisor privilege, and seize the land. Stop recruiting the troops, of course, and we'll be already getting our unique naval doctrine, the Portuguese Marines, that will give us half cost in naval barrage and some Marines force limit, as well as some blockade impact on siege. And we're kind of free a navy people. For the decisions here, get some draft ships, an admiral, and a general as well. For your rivals, I strongly recommend that you rival your neighbors, such as Morroco, Castile, and one of the Iberians, being Castile or Aragon, the one that you like. Are you going for Castile because I want to conquer a lot of center of trades here first? But in my case, Aragon is a rival to me, so that is also an option. And if Castile is rival to you, but Aragon not, you can ally the Aragonese and call them into a war with promised land and don't give them anything. That will basically sandwich in Castile between you two, so it will be a pretty easy war. As for your advisor, since your economy is not that good in the beginning, I'll be going only for my cheaper advisor as soon as I lost the game. And speaking of which, you can already stop paying for your troops and more about your forts, because we indeed start with a regency, so we can pretty much do anything in the first 3 years of the game. And we do also have a truce with Granada, so we can attack on them yet. In order to save a bit of ducats, I will be also more about my transport ships, because we really don't need them now. I'll be setting 2 of my heavy ships in order to hunt pirates in the Sevilla trade node because of the berber nations, and the rest of the light ships I'll be setting them to protect trade in Sevilla. Now we need to start working a bit of our missions. The first one that we want to complete is the English alliance, that we can complete by just royal marriage. The British, we already start with alliance, in fact the oldest alliance in the world, if you don't know that. That will give us some clans and more of arms that we will not be picking at, we'll save up for later in the following wars. And what we also want to do is to start build a flagship because of one of our missions. And as Portugal, we have some unique things about our heavy ship. Will be a heavy ship, of course, with the Portuguese navigators that will give us some fleet exploration range, the Portuguese bombardier that will give us more naval barrage cost, so it's already at 9%. That is the cap. And as the last one, I strongly recommend that you pick the Portuguese trade road maps. I know it's a heavy ship, but you can just, put them together with your light ships when you're not exploring or barraging some things. So yeah, pretty good stuff. And what I strongly recommend that you do, even if it's not exactly needed, is to start build a spy network in both Morocco and Granada. Because as soon as our truce expires with both nations, you'll be one to declare on them before the Castilians do, because the Castilian truce with Granada expire yearly, and if we can grab the upper Andalusia area before the Castilian do, will be a big hit in them. And for the alliance, we have indeed some good options, such as Savoy, that I'll be taking. Oh, free step, nice. Continuing myself, the Pope is always a good option, because this Portugal, we want indeed to stay Catholic, because Catholicism is really good these days, and Portugal has some really good things with Catholicism, such as established articles and papal influence. And for my last alliance slot, I'll be saving up for someone that has a bit of navies, such as Brittany is a good option. They have a couple of heavies, they have a couple of heavies. And now that my heart is finally on throne and got a shit son, try better next time. I will finally start paying for my troops, start paying for my forts, and finally start also paying for my ships. When all the things are at full maintenance, we'll be decking on Morocco and conquering Granada without even coalition them, because Castile is already doing some claims here and we don't want to see that. We want in fact to control Granada itself before they can do that, because of the Alhambra monument, if you don't know that, is extremely broken and they are indeed in the verge of annexation. And since we are not not been warring that much into the Muslims on that side of the world. Just conquering the Berbers without coalition is not that big of a deal. So yeah, let's do this and let's try to get a better general, because the one that we start is good, but it's not that good. So okay, really it is quite decent. They have even a siege, so that's good. And with our infantry compatibility of our tradition, the mission here that we're just about to get, and the privilege that we can go to the clergy, our army will be indeed kicking some ass. And now that our ship is basically full maintained, I'll be recruiting here a free company right here on Algarve, and as soon as they got completed here, what we can do is to take the competitive advantage that will give us some nice clans around here, mainly in Morroco and Castile, and also pop up my English Alliance mission and complete the launch a flagship mission that will give us a free shipyard here even really ahead of time. Look that Morocco did in fact ally themselves to both Granada and Tunis, and what I can do is to coalition Tunis because we will not change anything, and if you can indeed get something from them, you'll be better if you coalition them. After all, we are indeed going to full annex Granada without coalition, so there will be a lot of aggressive expansion. So I'll be declaring for the conquest of some provinces that I can keep them, such as Salad here, and let's dive in. Just remember that Granada has a lot of troops with you count their vassals, and because of that, I'll be also giving the clergy finally the expansion auxiliary. So now if you look at that here, we have over one whole morale in your enemies, so that's already pretty big stuff. And for a navy, what I want to do in the middle of the war that I kind of forgot to do is to set your light ship to go to port during wars, and for the rest of our ship, you want to unite your heavy ship, because if you count all our enemies, we still have more heavy ships than they have. A couple of galleys here and there, but our heavy is really more powerful. So just pick your heavies together with your flagship, of course, set them together the rest of your ships. Of course, remember, set them to your admiral. Don't use your explorer yet, you'll be using them just after we finish the war. And yeah, Portugal start indeed with explorer, but we don't need to really start exploring right now, because it's better to just save up the money for the following wars. And it's only 4047, and we can already start barraging some forts for 5 mil, because that's not even broken, they say. And I will be indeed doing that, and calling also my free company in order to help me contain the troops here. We have the naval supremacy, so they can manage to just cross the strait, and I did in fact scout the herd here. You have to make harder than to try to catch me when I maneuver my troops, and I'll be setting all my troops into Tungues, because they kind of have a lot of troops around here, you know? They are kind of outnumbered, kinda. Just kind. And because I did barrage that for basically free, Giro spy network in Morocco, we take the Tungues fort in less than 200 days. So really big stuff. And we're even going to decimate their navy here. Look at that. Yeah, that is definitely a national epic indeed. And what I will be doing for the fort here is also score the herd and now cross the strait in order to deal with the Granada, because we kinda want to kill them sooner than later. And you know what I'm going to do with Granada? Of course, you know, naval barrage, because why not? Also remember to get your cavalry out of the siege if you can do that safely, because cavalry costs us a lot and costs us a lot reinforced. I will not get rid of my cavalry yet because they are indeed quite powerful and we don't have that much of a force limit. So even if they're more expensive, I prefer to have a stronger army if I can. Oh, rip. Oh, Portugal, I love you, Portugal. No, I'm just kidding. Give my gold back right now. And don't be afraid to just take a lot of loss in the war, because your economy started really small, but you will be skyrocketing as soon as you conquer the Berbers. And you know, Portugal is kind of rich in the end of the day, just not that much in the stock. So yeah, taking some loans of 7 ducats is not that big of a deal. Of course, you didn't manage to take that fort before I take Malacca, because that's just how the AI works. Okay, finally, now we need to get back to Tungues once again, because why not? Just after that, I'll be dealing with the Granada. But if you remember, I did in fact score her here, so they will take ages to reinforce the battle, and that's considered that they were going to reinforce, and that's not the case. That's a why. Let's get your Tungues fort back here. Don't have that much of defenders, so what I'll be doing is to once again barrage and assault. I know I spend a bit of your power here, but it's not that big of a deal. It is really cheap. 10 mil power in order to take a fort for me is quite useful. And let's get more stacks here and rip and rip. How cute of you, trying to take the mountain fort back. And I can even call the Papal State in the war, so sure, why not? You have a bit of navy, maybe you can land into Tunis. Oh, look at that, a free of charge barrage. Every time, remember, cavalry are expensive, don't siege with them. And we even get a crusade. And what will probably happen when you fight in that amount of navy is that you're going to grab some ships for yourself. I strongly recommend that you delete them because they are a bit over our limit and will cost us a lot. And in the end of the day, we have our own big navy, you know? And when you fully occupy and fully decimate the Granada army, we can probably full annex then ready, and I strongly recommend that you do 3 ducats as well, because why not? Coalition wise, we don't care about coalition, and yeah, here remember to concentrate the death before coring, because it will be cheaper to do so. And now let's focus on the Moroccans. You're not going to take that right now, right? Okay, at that point that is not even fair anymore, you know. Okay, now we are indeed dealing with the most difficult thing that we done yet. Take the first, because it's a mountain capital fort, and Morocco don't have any more troops, but the allies still do have. Tunis is with a lot of troops here. The only thing that we have at our side is that Tankland is not willing to give military access, because they're indeed rival to Tunis, so they probably were not able to reach us. But still are that at any moment you might need to just retreat, because taking that battle here in the mountain fort, not recommended, you know, not recommended indeed. And at that point, because I already get some good events that give us stability, and an event that is scripted for the King Afonso V, I'll be getting some cheaper advisors here, only for notability, because it's kind of the only one that we can give right now, because of the amount of privilege that we get, and because also it's the only advisor that we have. Oh god, that's a long siege. And for Andalusia itself, we want to make a house state of that, not a full state, because we want to save up a little bit of admin, and a house state will give us 50 autonomy, and 50 is better than 90 in my opinion, do knowing yours. And yeah, the fast forward is taking me long enough to take that I even managed to cover the province in the middle of the war. That's just how it is. And we take the fort and we gain some rivals, so give it and take, I guess. And now just a little bit of capacity around here, and we can take the other capital fort that is also in a mountain. And Sus even got independence in the middle of the war. Like one last dude that we need to fight. And because Sus is being a douchebag and they are sieging Kaflat, what I'll be doing here is like a bit less province that I want to take. Maybe even try to grab a bit of ducats, 8 ducats, worth it, make that peace deal, take our friends, and sneak our way into Kaflat, send a peace deal, and that's it. Now it's just a matter of powering some things here, and what I strongly recommend you to do is to unsiege the North Morocco state here. Is no goods, don't have good trade goods here, don't have high debt, so concentrate and make normal cores. There will be half costed cores here and not full core. And what you can also do here is to set Sevilla into a trade company in order to not have to deal with the Sunni province here. The same can be said for the South trade node as soon as we complete core Tafla, because he is a gold mine and we kinda want it. And we can complete another formation that will give us a lot of admin power and a cheaper advisor, a 75% cheaper advisor, and some new clans here. And for the new advisor, welcome to the buddy pal. And for the rest of our province, reduce the ore exhaustion a little bit and make cores of them. We kinda need to make a core in Alpha before be able to core the rest of the province. And what I also recommend you to do is to just delete the Tanger fort. Is a bad one, you don't want to have that. We already have the Ceuta fort, that is a hill fort. That one here is just a dry land, so pretty useless. And because we did in fact take the Taflat gold mine, we are the first Christian nation to find gold, so that gives us for 100 years some local goods producing your gold mine. And now that we are in data peace, we can start exploring around here with your heavy ships and your flagship, so we can pretty much reach something really distant, like really distant. And also dismiss both your free company and your cavalry, because they are kind of expensive and we want to save up a bit of money if we can. We have indeed a couple of loans that we will be recycling right now. Take some new loans, pay for the 1% loans, and I'll take another set of burger loans and use that money to pay for the non-1% loans. Just a bit of consolidation of interest, so you know, you're not dying that. And for the rest of your heavy chips, because they're really expensive, I will be more about them as well. And if I stop paying for armor fort and stop paying for my troops, we are finally in the green side. And that's even before calling your gold mine, you know? And look at that, 45th, and we already discovered America. Now just one more age objective around the last city and we can finally embrace your golden era. And remember, Portugal do indeed have a really powerful use for your first age, because of the plus that a 15 plus global set increase. And for your first government fort, believe it or not, I strongly recommend that you pick the tax man, because you kinda want to weaken our ability a little bit and make some money out of that is always useful. And I need to show you something. What I'm facing here is a fairly unique situation. Know that Castile have a lot of troops here and also a lot of troops here, basically the entire of the army. And since my navy is more powerful than the one they have, they will not be able to cross the strait if you are just engaged in a battle. So right now I have the opportunity to just declare on them for some of my Iberian clans and just trap them in their northern Africa while I'll do siege their entire homeland. And of course, I will not let the opportunity just pass pass. I'll even call Brittany if I can. Let me just grab some diplomat here and also start positioning my navy into the Strait of Gibraltar. Civil as a water goal because it's a problem that we can easily take, and let's dive in. We are indeed heavily outnumbered, but it's not that big of a deal if they can reach me. And look at that, they are probably trying to cross all the way around here not to reach their land. So let me just cap and siege you a little bit while you do that. Quick travel. One heavy for all their ships? Huh, don't mind if I do. Look, no matter how much they want, they just can't cross the strait. I love to see. And that's the capital. And the best part is that, since there is indeed black flag, it's not like they can even try to start sieging my province. So I can just go ahead and occupy all the forts. Alright, I have half our nation occupy anyway. So you did finally reach me, huh? And you're even approaching me. That's a rip. Oh yeah, I would like to have that as a general, not just as an admiral. And that's it for the Napolitan navy. Now let me just blockade you a little bit, and that might be enough to piece you out of the water with just a white piece. And with Leon down, that should be enough to us get our ideal peace deal. That will be the two provinces here, Orense and Leon, and the province here of Huelva, Sevilla, Córdoba, La Mancha for the gold mine, and Gen, max money, and war reparations, because we are kinda running a bit of long issue. Coalition wise, I don't care. And that's it. We finally beat up the Castilians for the first time. And what I'll be doing here is in fact release some nations, namely Leon and Galicia. And look at that, they basically have a big reconquest around here. What I'll be also doing is to sell some titles and now finally see some land. That should be basically enough to pay for our loans. We just have one loan here that I'll be recycling for my 1% loans. And now we only have 1% loans, basically no interest, and we can even embrace the institution. Of that, because we have indeed a pretty solid opportunity here in the north of the Africa, and we grab that. And what I'm going to tell you, because we did in fact have another parts of the Iberia, that is something that you can in fact do with some consistency. Basically just let the Castile beat up the Berbers a little bit, and when you're getting home, you'll deck on them, conquer all the shit, and just glad in vacation in Africa, you know? So now I'll be already lifting the free company that I hired in order to see some of the fort, and our economy is pretty decent already. The Toughts gold mine, I just make a full core and even drop some dev clicks here. The deal thing here is to get that up to 10 production in order to not have that much of the depletion chance, but get a huge amount of money, and we can indeed lower the autonomy. Also, we can indeed lower the autonomy for a lot of province, and that's already a pretty big number that we have in our balance, you know? And with the money that I just got here lying around, I'll be investing in some church here and there, and some marketplace as well. And what I'll be already doing is to give for the nobility the state privilege of the strong duchies, because that will help us keep that in check and give us some more diplo slots, so we'll not be losing any diplo power that have extremely high value to us, since we are indeed going to open with the exploration ideas. Because if you're going Portugal and not playing colonial, you're probably not playing Portugal right. And speaking of it, look at that, India! Like I was saying, for our first idea here, exploration, no much to think about, you know, no much to think about. What you might want to think about that is that we can grab our golden euro as soon as we can. So I'll be going for here in Lisboa, set the state edct to encourage development, and drop some juicy mill power here in order to reach another develop, let the month pass, and that's alright, our golden era. And for your very first age ability will be, of course, speaking the Portuguese colonial growth, plus 15 global settle increase is kinda broken, and we wanna see that. Oh, poor Castilians, getting bullied by the peasant republic of Aragon, because why not, right? I think the AI is watching too much of lady these days. So you're saying me that I conquered the most part of the North Africa that I can, because for some reason Tankland and the Ottomans are kinda buddy-buddy in this game, because why not? I control half of Iberia, and I even allowed to make plus 10 balance of income in less than 20 years. Huh.
Impossible.
And a Portuguese monarchy tier 1 government form is extremely powerful for a type of gameplay. The sailor recovery speed and the naval force limit is what it gave us the upper hand against every single one of the navy major powers in the world. We can even beat up the British if we want to. It's not like we need to, after all, we are kinda best friends. Oh, I see it, and I like it. And as soon as your local first colonies will be, of course, set your native policy to native repression Aragon, or how I would like to say, native befriendship. And what we can do already is to send our colonists into Cape Verde, because from there we can pretty much reach every place in the new world that we want. And speaking of which, you already know basically everything in the new world, and the game almost not even started yet. That's not something that you usually do see. I can't enter in a coalition against Aragon. So are you doing well, or like, oh, that's a lot of land. Apparently the peasant republic of Aragon really wanted to see some blood today. And we finally get to know Congo, which is a unique event about something like the Congolese king convert themselves to the Catholicism, so we get some people influence and some reform progress out of that, so don't mind if I do. And it's not like we're not going to conquer them later, right? After all, Angola, nossa. You gotta be kidding me, right? You gotta be kidding me, right? Like, is that the third horde that I have? I didn't have two bad dudes, alright? Please don't kill my guy. And you're killing my guy. And also one of the reasons that I did in fact start build a colony in the Cabo Verde is to fabricate some clans in the African miners here. After all, the Tech 2 don't stand a chance against a superior Tech 6. So they are there basically just to be conqueror in the end of the day. And also, as soon as we reach the third idea of the exploration years, we'll not be getting only 50% colonial range from here, but also 20% colonial range from that, or first national idea. So pretty much we have 70% colonial range, and that not even counting our possible advisor, that bring that up to 9%, basically doubling the colonial range. And from now on, we can pretty much reach almost the entire of the Caribbean. So I'll be calling my colonists here and send them straight to the island of Santa Lucia. Our colonial path here is to first of all focus on completely colonize the Caribbean, well, at least 5 provinces, to create a colonial tag, and after that we're gonna be historical. Look at that, better India. Oh, I mean Brazil. We are going to Brazil. Yeah, you're coming to Brazil, okay? You're coming to Brazil. Specifically Rio de Janeiro. You have to be able to not just visit me, but also reach Minas Gerais, because if you do get indeed the province of Minas Gerais, we will not only get a gold province in Minas, but also get some local goods produced permanently, and from now on our chance of encountering gold as we build colonies will be further increased, make us even richer. And look at that massive amount of global settler that we're gaining. 92 global settler yearly with basically only 20 years in the game. That's really insane. And because I'm really a maniac, I'll be getting only the coastal provinces of Yolof, because I kinda don't have a mean to reach the allies here. There are 3 coastal provinces here, so I'm ducking if I can as well. Apparently not. Yeah, just a little bit. And yoink. And with that new coastal province that we have here, I'll be setting some new clans in Mali, and we complete another of our missions, that is the colonize the West Africa. I did in fact click the beyond Cape Portugal by mistake, but that just gives us some settler chance for 15 years, and that one here will give us 100 diplo power and a really good explorer, well, a potentially really good explorer. But the province that we just conquered, 4 out of them, and assign them to the trade company. And for Mali, you'll be of course declaring them for the rightful clay of Cabo province, you know? It's right to us. Like I was saying, it's not like they can really oppose a threat against us. Our military technology is just too good for them to just have their meaning to fight back. Right now, it's basically a situation of 6 against firepower, and firepower usually do win. Holy, that was really quick siege. And because Mali did in fact declare after we start killing some of the troops, I will be in fact not trying to full annex them and not even going for the capital, but just for the other province. You'll be getting the 2 gold mines that they have, so that's really good. That's good enough to me at least. Pollution wise, I don't care. And yoink. Once again, assign all the province that is not the gold mine to the trade company, and remember to do that manually one by one. Just got annexed to the trade company. Now just a matter of wait a little bit in order to make some cars here and be able to reach the cars here. And that, lads, is what we'll be living for today. I think that we did expand it a lot, and I did manage to break down how you're gonna play with Portugal. Basically, beat up some Africans, and just don't say that a lot and public. Make some colonies in the Americas with almost 100 settlers per year. Should not be an issue for you. And it's still out of the goal. Basically, roleplay the historical accurate Portugal, and that should be enough to make you just beat the shit out of everyone around here. Our army is indeed quite powerful. Don't be fooled. Our last idea is one of the strongest ideas in the game. Artillery fire +1 is the same idea that Spain gets. We get some goods produced, some trade efficiency, some global trade power, construction costs, global terrorists, and even more global stat increase. So a really well-rounded idea set, and combined with exploration and expansionism or infrastructure, the one that you pick it is up to you. I really like the idea of pick both of them, but start with exploration, expansionism, and then go infrastructure because of the ideas. Expansional infrastructure give us +1 colony dev, and expansionist exploration give us some more colonies to work on and some native rising chance. Basically, we can change your native policy to native trading policy, and then we have -100% native uprising chance, which, speaking of which, don't have a cap. And as your fourth idea, you can either pick trade in order to make more and more money, but I don't think that is needed. Portugal is indeed quite wealthy. We are really wealthy, you know. Or you can go for a meal one, such as offensive cavalry. One of the two is the best options in my opinion. As for your government reforms, of course, go for the Council of Indies, because treasure fleet income and global power trade is extremely broken. I like the idea of curtailing some clerical rights for the religious unity and the admin tech costs. And for 5 government reform, go for the unique government of Portugal, the ordenanças, basically land leader chock +1, and a unique decision that enable you to just get 3 sailors and manpower for free. Get royal decree, the NASC administration, and for the economic matter, I know is a bit later one, but you will get in why I'm talking about that. Go for the +1 colonies, because if you can complete expansionist or colonist ideas, we get not only +1 colonies, that is extremely broken, not gonna lie, but also our colonial subject will gain +10% goods produced. And if you know how tariff works in the late game, 10% goods produced for the all new world, that will be pretty much just us, because there's not much of Castile left on, you know. And it's not like England is really thinking about going to the new world anytime soon. You can get really easily up to 1,000 ducats just for terror from that. So yeah, Portugal, extremely wonderful nation, extremely enjoyable type of gameplay. A bit tricky in the first 5 years of game, but as soon as you manage to go through the very first beginning of the game, you're just a superpower that no one can stop you. Well, maybe a tackling Ottoman's alliance, but we can get that later. So, if you really enjoyed the video, please consider subscribing. A lot of you guys are not subscribing. Up to 90% of you guys are not subscribing. I'm not getting why. Leave a like, comment what you thought about the video, and I'm willing to do a second part if you guys really wanna do that, but as a special, you know? Maybe, just maybe, when we get to 500 subs. What about that?